You know, he's got 3 different ones, and so,
We already did the HRC. He already did the HRC one. I know he does, but we're not interviewing for that right now, are we?
there's no openings there at the moment.
No.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Nice of you to come back again.
Thank you.
And so we're getting weather reports from people coming in.
And I'm going to tell you, please, that when you do finally end up at the end of the evening, take it slow, because it's supposed to, between now and then, it's supposed to be really difficult, to say the least.
All right. Well, we will bear that in mind. So you're familiar with the general layout of things. We have a few questions for you. Councilmember Lannis just texted us and said he is on his way back from Duluth, and he doesn't think he's going to get here at all. And so Mr. Antonin has been asking his question, so that 5 questions are all represented.
They're both named Jim, so.
I'm sorry?
They're both named Jim, so it works.
Yes, right.
In fact, you could ask the question, too.
No, I don't think so.
Well, we will indeed, of course, if you have any questions when we wrap up, you have time to ask those of us. But so we have our questions, so we'll go through them and see how it turns out.
Go ahead.
All right. So Kathy?
Okay, I'm combining 2 thoughts, but they kind of go together in my book anyway. What in the world motivated you to apply for this commission? And what do you think its most important function is?
Excuse me. To answer your first question, working for the city for 25 years has given me some roots, and with that, I want to give back and giving back into a position that I'm comfortable with, I know something about with the police department.
And what do you think its most important function is, the Police Civil Service Commission?
Keeping the quality of the incoming police officers at the highest level possible.
Thank you.
I have a follow-up to that.
Yes, sir.
Just out of curiosity, when you were brought into the police department and whatnot, did you go through the process with the Police Civil Service Commission?
Unfortunately, I don't remember.
I see. All right. Well, it made a big impression on you then.
It's the whole process was just such a big thing to me. I couldn't, all I did was show up where people told me to show up and talk to whoever I had to talk to.
All right.
Tell us, Jim, tell us of your experience in dealing with confidential personnel matters.
I still deal with confidential and personnel matters. My wife and I are employed through Ramsey County as foster parents, and we've been dealing with confidential data for a long time. I married into it, and we're still doing it, just as strong as the first day that I stepped into it. There are just some things that you can't share with people, and I usually refer them to higher ups for any other, for any information that's what I consider to be confidential or private.
Thank you.
As a commissioner, you could be called upon to investigate charges against a police officer, determine guilt or innocence, select appropriate punishment. If this officer is found guilty, what experience and skills and qualities to perform this duty?
As a police officer with this department, I have held every job that's been assigned to me, every job that a police officer can have other than DARE. I have investigated many people and have turned over that information to those people who are responsible for decision-making, example being county attorney's office, whatever. And I just let everything fall where it may. And if somebody farther up the line wants to bring in formal charges or whatever, that's not my decision. I just give it to them as I find it. But I will usually find all of it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. My question is, what qualifications and experience do you have that would add to the commission's deliberations? And I realize you've sort of addressed a lot of this already, but any further thoughts on your qualifications and experience that would add to the commission's deliberations?
Again, I can probably just repeat a lot of what I've said. I wish to keep the quality of police officers in this department at the highest level possible, and do everything in my power to make sure that that does take place.
Thank you.
I have kind of a follow-up before I ask my question. Thinking the proper way to phrase it, but do you think it's possible to be too close to the situation?
No, sir. And the reason I say that is because I have held back. I've been out of the police department for 8 years. I have heard of a number of people leaving, and it's new personnel coming in for the most part, and I have no issues, either pro or con, with anybody in the department at all. Am I too close? No, sir.
Okay. My actual question then, one of the purposes of the Police Civil Service Commission is to create a policy system which shall be made attractive, and let's see, a policy system which shall basically make policing an attractive career. As a member of the Police Civil Service Commission, what would you do to help attract and retain talented police officers?
I would make sure that, first of all, the advertising of the position is out there so that we're able to draw from all over, I mean, as far away as possible, to draw on those people who are the most qualified. And answering any questions of anybody. This is to me, has always been a very good top-of-the-line police department. And I would love to have very highly qualified, good people come in and continue to work for this department.
Okay. Are there any other kind of follow-ups or additional questions that come to mind? Do you have anything you want to ask us about?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, trying to think of what our schedule is for this.
Similar schedule.
So we'd be presumably announcing December 13th?
Correct.
All right. Well, we do have one or two additional people that we're interviewing, having to do with, and I'm sure you're aware there's just one position. It's a small commission. And so anyway, on December 13th would be the official time that we would, as a council, award the commissioners' positions to people. So that's where we're at.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Nephew?
Mr. Mayor, just a comment. There are 4 applicants for only 1 seat on this commission. So obviously that makes the odds of any one applicant not particularly good. But I do want to just comment that you have a really good, really strong resume and a really strong background. And I personally want to strongly encourage you, if you don't get appointed this time, to continue to look at any this or other commissions that you'd be willing to serve on with openings in the future, because I think that you've got a really great background in a number of areas and would be a real asset to the city.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Drive safely.
You're going to have a problem.
He's going home now.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
I am just fine. I don't know about the rest of the council, but I don't care about them.
Well, that doesn't sound very nice.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
As far as I know, everyone's in fine form tonight. And so you braved some nasty weather to come here. We appreciate you taking the time
Sure.
to come.
Happy to.
And you have served in the past on this commission?
Yep,
Wanna just-
3 years experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was 3-4 years ago?
I believe it ended about 3 years ago, maybe just a little bit more than that, 3.5, somewhere around there.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly.
All right. Well, so we have a set of 5 questions.
Okay,
This is Jim Lannis tonight, and so he'll be asking Mr. Lannis's question.
okay,
And once we get done, and there might be some follow-up kind of questions that come along the way,
sure.
but once we get done, if you have anything you want to ask us about this or semi-related topics, you can feel free to do so.
Okay,
So go ahead.
Hi, Deb.
hello.
I'm kind of combining 2 questions, and one kind of comes from the other in my mind. First of all, what motivated you to apply/reapply now for this particular commission? And what do you think this commission's most important function is?
Okay. Law enforcement is something I grew up around. I also took a class at Century College as far as intro to criminology, where I found it very interesting, and it wasn't a career that I would want to pursue, but I learned a lot, and also was serving a term as Police Civil Service Commissioner. It was something I truly enjoyed and would love the opportunity to be able to do that again. And then, Kathy, what was your...
The main function of all the functions that this commission provides, which in your estimation is the most important?
I think there's many important, but probably the most important is the hiring process, as far as to provide that good list of candidates and oversee that to make sure that the chief has a good list to select from.
Thank you.
Kathy, tell us...
No,
Are
Debbie.
you
Debbie.
talking- Debbie?
I'm Kathy.
I'm sorry, Debbie. That was Mr. Lannis speaking.
That's right.
Blame him.
Mr. Lannis never gets people's names right.
Tell us your experience in dealing with confidential personnel matters.
Okay. Well, as a Police Civil Service Commissioner previously, we would receive packets of information, typically background checks or lists with candidates. And, it was highly important that that information stay confidential and it's shared with no one. And then we would always turn in our packets of background checks at the end of the meeting. Also, with my current employer, I'm an IT manager, and we have an electronic medical record, and we're in charge of, security and privacy of that data.
Thank you.
Sure.
Mr. Copeland?
Okay, as a commissioner, you could be called upon to investigate charges against a police officer, determine guilt or innocence, select an appropriate punishment if the officer is found guilty. What experience and skill qualities do you have to perform this duty?
Well, with my current job,